Hello everyone, welcome back to Global Admissions. Today we're going to be going over English certificates, what they are and how to get them. So this is part of a series that we're doing where we go over all the required documents you need to apply for universities, or the most commonly required documents. So we already have a video about personal statements, how to make them and everything you need to put in them and tips for that. We also have a video about recommendation letters and how to obtain those and what should be in them. And today's video is going to be specifically about English certificates. So what is an English certificate? So this is usually required by universities if you are applying from a non-English speaking country. So if you are a non-native English speaker or come from a non-English speaking country, then you will need an English certificate. Now, what countries are exempted from this? So the countries such as the US, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, as well as South Africa, the UK, and also Ireland are the most commonly exempted because those are seen as native English speaking countries. However, depending on the university, that might differ for different countries. So this certificate is basically something that says that you are at the same level as native English students in order to study a degree in English. Now, what are the most common asked for English certificates? Now, this is usually the TOEFL or the IELTS. So for very big universities, especially if you're applying to very competitive universities or universities in countries like the US, Canada, the UK, the most commonly asked for English certificate is the IELTS or the TOEFL, and they might not necessarily accept any other kind of English certificate, but there are a couple of other types of English certificates that some universities might accept. So one that is sometimes accepted by universities, sometimes in China, and maybe other countries as well, is the Duolingo English test. However, just be aware that this test is not always accepted by all universities, especially for very competitive universities. They're going to want you to have a TOEFL or IELTS. If you have studied your previous program or high school education in English, then you can get a certificate or a letter from your school that states that your method of teaching was in English with a stamp and signature, and you can sometimes use that as your English certificate as well. Now, when should you obtain the English certificate? You should do this as soon as possible because it sometimes takes a while to get enrolled for the test if you're doing the TOEFL or IELTS, and depending on your location, they might only have a set date and they might do it only a couple of times a year. So you should really make sure to get it as soon as possible if you know that you're going to be applying for the upcoming intake. So we recommend you get that as soon as possible because if it's a last minute thing, you never know if something might happen where the centers are closed and you can no longer apply. So make sure to just get it as soon as possible. Now, how long are these valid for? So if you're getting the TOEFL or IELTS test, then these are only valid for 2 years. After the 2 years, then it is expired and you will have to rewrite the TOEFL certificate. Now, a question that we sometimes get asked is, do I need to continuously just keep writing this test every 2 years while I'm studying after I've been accepted? No. You only need a valid English certificate for getting accepted into a program. Once you've been accepted into the program, you do not need to keep proving your English level. Unless you are applying for another program later on, you do not need to rewrite this test over and over. Another question we get is, can this get waived? I want to apply to a program that is in English that doesn't require an English certificate. No, unfortunately not. All programs that are accepting international students from countries that might not speak English will not waive the English certificate. It's not something that is waivable. They need that to know that you are going to be at the same level as the other students so that they know that you are going to be able to keep up in the program. So this is a very vital part. If your English is at a very low level or not on par with the other students, you're not going to be able to keep up with the program and might have to drop out later, which causes them to lose a student and causes another student to lose out on being accepted into the program. So just keep that in mind, that it is not something that can be waived. I hope this was helpful to you guys. If you have any further questions or comments, please leave that in the comment section below. And remember to like and subscribe to the video. I will see you guys in the next video.